Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So in Arabic, words come from a 3 or 4 root letter origin. So for example, kataba means to write. Katib is a writer. Kitab is a book. Maktab is a desk or an office. And maktaba is a library. As you can see, all these words have kaf, ta, and ba. So that's why we have sentences like this. درس المدرس الدرس, which means the teacher taught the lesson. As you can see, dal, ra, sin, dal, ra, sin, dal, ra, sin. In Arabic, there are 12 pronouns. أنا, أنت, أنتِ, هو, هي, نحن, أنتما, هما, أنتم, أنتن, هم, and hunna. To make a sentence a question, you have to add hal or a to the beginning. أنت طالب means you are a student. هل أنت طالب means are you a student. هو مدرس means is he a teacher. So examples of the Quran are here. This ayah, you see is used at the beginning of the sentence to make a question, and also here hal is used at the beginning to make a question. Arabic verbs are conjugated as follows. Al-Madi is the past. Al-Mudari' is the present. Al-Amr is the command, telling someone to do it. Al-Masdar is the verbal noun, the act of doing it. So for example, if the verb to swim is basically, he swam, he's swimming, and the verbal noun for that would be swimming. Ism fa'il is the one who does it. Ism maf'ul is the one that is done to. So some examples I have here. عبد يعبد عبد عبادة عابد معبود. He worshipped, he's worshipping, commanding someone to worship. Ibadah, you know this word. Abid is the one that worships. Ma'bud is one that is worshipped. To prostrate, sajda, yasjudu, usjud, sujud, you know this word, the act of doing prostration. Sajid, one that is prostrating, and masjud. And from sajda yasjudu comes the word masjid, which is literally a place where prostration happens. So some examples I have here from people's names. The verb to be easy, yasura, yaisuru, from that comes the name Yasir. And also this masdar here, yusr, you recognize that from this ayah, this famous ayah. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Also, from the verb to last forever or to be immortal, خَلَدَ يَخْلُدُ, comes the name Khalid. And also when you look at the verb hamada, which means to praise highly, you see the name of our Prophet ﷺ in the ism maf'ul, the one that is done to. Now we're going to talk about how to conjugate verbs. So for the past tense, I want to talk about him, usually ends in fatha like kataba. I want to talk about myself, two, talking to one man at a test, talking to one woman at t, about one woman, ta with sukun, talking about us at na, talking to a group of men, tum, talking to a group of women, tunna, talking about a group of men, u, talking about a group of women, na. If you're using the dual, which is exactly two people and you're talking about them, add ta or add, depending if it's exactly two men or two women. Talking to exactly two people, you add tuma. For the present, if I'm talking about him, it starts with a ya. Talking about myself, it starts with hamza. Talking to one man, it starts with ta. Talking to one woman, it starts with ta. Ya and ends with ya and nun. Talking about one woman starts with ta. Talking about us starts with na. Talking to a group of men starts with ta, ends in waw and nun. Talking to a group of women starts with ta, ends in nun. Talking about a group of men starts with ya, ends in waw and nun. Talking about a group of women starts with ya, ends in nun. If I'm using the dual, you add an if I'm talking about them. And when I'm using the dual and I'm talking to them, I also add an as well. For the command, it varies on the verb, but it usually ends in sukun. If I'm talking to one man, I'm telling him to do something. If I'm talking to one woman, but e to the male command. If I'm talking to a group of men, add u to the male command. If I'm talking to a group of women, add na to the male command. If I'm talking to dual, you add a to the end of the command. And notice that every time you are talking to someone in the present, talking to them, it starts with ta. If you were talking about them, it starts with ya. Now we're going to talk about the 10 Arabic verb forms. These are important because you don't always have to know every conjugation, and you can make new words based off existing words. So here they are, and I'll give you an example. So if I was watching this lecture and I see this word ijtihada, and I wanted to know the rest of the conjugations. For example, how do I make it present? How do I make it the command? How do I know the masdar and the person who does it and the person that it's done to? I don't have to search it up, all of those, if I know that this word matches this one, right? This form here, form 8, and I just know that form 8 is like this. I don't have to search anything up, so it's easy. They have general meaning. So form 1 is the standard form, right? And form 1, it varies, so it's not always the way it is here because that's the base form. Form 2 is to cause someone to do something or to intensify form 1. So for example, darasa means to study, and form 2, darasa means to teach, kasara means to break, and kasara means to shatter. Form 3 is to do something together, but it's not always like that. Form 4 is to cause. For example, this ayah in Surah An-Najm, وَأَنَّهُ هُوَ أَضْحَكَ وَأَبَكَى, and that it is he who makes one laugh and weep. The original verbs are ضحك for to laugh, أضحك in form 4 means to make laugh, بكى to weep or cry, and أبكى in form 4 to make weep or cry. Form 5 is reflexive, which means to do the action to yourself. Form 6 is reflexive as well. Form 7 is passive, which means the doer is not mentioned. So here, in kasra al-hatif, which means the phone was broken. We don't know who broke it, but we just know the phone was broken. Form 8 is reflexive of Form 1. Form 9 relates to colors and defects. So for example, i'wajja means to be twisted and ihmarra means to become red. Form 10 usually means to request something. So istaghfara means to seek forgiveness. To indicate future tense, add sa or sofa to the beginning. So in this ayah in Surah Duha, وَلَا سَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ, and also when Ibrahim was telling his father he was going to seek forgiveness from him, سَأَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكَ رَبِّي. Now we're going to talk about the passive voice. So here, كتب الكتاب means he wrote the book. كتب الكتاب means the book was written. يكتب الكتاب means he's writing the book. And يكتب الكتاب means the book is being written. So the formula for this is, for the past tense, the first root letter, and it's important to know the difference between the first root letter and the letters in general. So ya, ta, ya, and all these prefixes and suffixes, they're not a part of the original root letter. The original root is ka, ta, and ba. So for the past tense, the first root letter becomes dhamma, the second root letter becomes a kasra, and for the present tense, the first letter, regardless of if it's the root or not, becomes dhamma, and the second to last root letter becomes a fatha. In Arabic, when you want to express possession, you add one of these to the end of the word. So for example, if I want to say it's my book, kitabi. If I want to say it's a singular male's book, kitabuka. A singular female's book, kitabuki. A group of men or mixed groups book, kitabukum. And feminine, kitabukun. I'm talking about him, kitabuhu. I'm talking about her, kitabuha. I'm talking about them, kitabuhum. If I'm talking about them in the feminine, kitabuhunna. I'm talking about our book, kitabuna. If I'm talking about those two's book, kitabuhuma.